of like just putting my political analyst hat on, what I think will happen, not what I think should happen, I do think Trump is in much more danger of losing now. The approval ratings that he has for handling of the coronavirus are not good. The handling of racial issues is not good for him either. And what he always has done consistently very well on with voters is the economy. And the economy isn't doing so hot at the moment, as you probably know,
Yeah.
because of shutdowns and the coronavirus. So his biggest asset kind of fell out from under him, though the latest jobs report showed some sign of an uptick. So it remains to be seen, but things would have to turn around and something would have to change, I think, for him to become the favorite again.
Yeah, I think the economy isn't necessarily his fault, although there is some scrutiny, and I think rightfully, given to how he dealt with the pandemic. On
Right.
the
It's
issue
not
of,
fault, but voters don't really care.
yeah,
They kind of vote based on the economy, whether it's his fault or not.
yeah, well, it's surprising his approval ratings are so low, because if you look across the world at the moment, incumbent leaders, whether it be in Canada with Justin Trudeau or Britain with Boris Johnson, and even Emmanuel Macron in France, who had historically low approval ratings, is that he's now surging. So the fact that Trump is declining at a time of national crisis must be pretty worrying for the Republicans.
I think it is worrying, but it's because there are upsides and downsides of Trump, but no one can, in my opinion, really argue that his personality is an upside during a crisis.
Yeah,
It's certainly got advantages when he's slamming some people or fighting for things other conservatives would have given up on. But in the middle of a crisis, tweeting out conspiracy theories about liberal TV hosts is not what most people want to see from the president of the United States. So I think
yeah.
he's particularly ill-suited with his personality for a time of national crisis, whereas some of these other leaders have other shortcomings, but maybe they're a little bit better at unifying or not undercutting their crisis response. So I think that's basically why it has gone that way for him.
Yeah, and even with racial tension, I look at Trump's Twitter feed, and I've spoken to other American journalists about this, and they say too much emphasis is often given to his Twitter feed. It doesn't really matter. But still, it seems that he's actively antagonizing protesters. That must be unsettling to Republicans who care deeply, it seems, about law and order.
Right. So the president's Twitter feed is an interesting question. I tend to think that, like, yes, people freak out about it too much, but ultimately it's still statements by the president. So they still do matter. You can't just write them all off as Trump's tweets like some people do. And it's actually frustrating because Trump, if you look at his actual record on criminal justice, is like pretty good. I mean, he's the first Republican to sign criminal justice reform bill, the First Step Act, that took a sizable progress towards eliminating the unfair parts of our criminal justice system, particularly for Black people. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, it should be a winning issue for him, especially given that he is open to more reforms, right? That he's talking about now. But the Twitter feed where he's antagonizing the protesters and rioters, to be fair, not all these people, far be it from all these people are all peaceful protesters,
Sure.
not true. But he has taken an issue that he was doing well on, and I squandered some of those gains with his callous off the cuff tweets and with the stunt that he pulled clearing out protesters for a church photo op.
Yeah.
Those things undercut what is actually a decent policy record on that area. So I agree. I think Republicans are pulling their hair out a little bit over that one.